Hello, it's about 11:20. It is the day after Isabel tried her injected form of her medication for a second time. Now, if you remember, the first time she did it, she was struck down by a dreadful 3-day long nausea afterwards. And so she had a very big break before trying out the medication again. She had gone to the GP at the time to see if it could have been an infection, and it was ruled out because she didn't have a temperature. They did a little dip test, ruled out infection. They thought it might have been a virus or it might have been the meds. So they've given it a good long rest of several months. Now she's tried it again, and today, nausea. It's the exact same thing again. If it's going to follow last time's pattern, she's going to be out of action for 3 days again. Let's see, maybe it won't be so bad this time. I don't know. Her skin is also pretty bad. The dermatologist had a good look yesterday and declared her to be, increasingly worse. She's had to reduce her oral dose of the main medication that's really been effective in sorting out her condition, which is just eruptions of eczema everywhere, that it just is so hard to control it with all the other meds that she uses. She's on a nasal spray in the morning, eye creams on the inside lids 4 times a day. She has 6 antihistamine tablets per day. She has topical protopics, topical emollient. She's not on steroids anymore, but she was for a long time, really trying hard not to go back to them. What else? Chewy tablet at night before bed, which is another anti-allergy one. So now she's at the point now, after these months on the reduced dose, that behind her legs are all weeping most of the time now. She's getting weepy bits, it's appearing everywhere. So she's now onto topical antibiotic ointment as well as protopics, as well as emollients. So it's taking a lot of her time to be applying these creams. I always used to do it for her, but now that she's that much older, she would prefer to do her own. Oh, it's such a difficult situation. It really is. And I feel pressured to make sure that she keeps up with her studies, obviously, because she's got GCSEs next year. But week after week after week, we're just getting thwarted with health issues. So I don't know what to do for the best. But today, she's in such a flared up state. I know she needs to sleep in the mornings. This is what we used to do initially when she was age 6. The way I sorted her skin out to a live-withable level. It wasn't good, believe me, it wasn't good. But she was out of hospital. She wasn't on intravenous antibiotics, so that was good. But the way I achieved that was basically let her sleep as long as she wanted to every morning, and quite often she wouldn't get up till 11 or even 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But it really made such a difference. So now, she's just sleeping. It's gone 11:30 now. But school's just not going to get done if she spends all day sleeping. So I don't know, I feel like just have to do what we can and do the exams when she's ready. It's like dragging on and on now. I just can't, crack the whip on her if she's not up to it. And we've got to prioritise her health. It's absolutely without question. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, one thing I was thinking is if she can't do them next summer, the following year she will be eligible for part-time funding in a tertiary college to sit level 2, which is GCSEs, and maybe a BTEC equivalent to just get her college qualified. So I suppose that's the worst case scenario, and it will be funded. Oh, thank you. Anyway, it is what it is. So today, Izzy's having a day off, and I'm going to try and make the most of the opportunity to get on top of the housework and other things like that. She's up. She wants crumpets, and we don't have any, so I'm just going to nip out to the shops and get some. It's actually not raining, which is awesome, and something to be very grateful for. That's really good value, isn't it? Tins of butter beans and chickpeas and kidney beans, all 29 pence. Might stock up. 39 pence for tomato puree. Passata, 35p. Izzy likes passata. She doesn't like the chopped tomatoes because she doesn't like the bits. And this is what Izzy has sent me out for. Crumpets. Toothpaste, sensitive. I don't really like this one. It's got baking soda, but it's a whole pound cheaper than that one. And we have got sensitive teeth, both of us actually. going to get some marigolds actually. I've got this split on my finger. It's very sore and it's making washing up a bit of a problem because it makes the plaster wet and then it's drying it out even more and it's just splitting. I'd like to get Izzy washing up. She still doesn't because it makes all her skin split open. She won't cope with rubber gloves though. We need vinyl. Pound. What's that made out of? Cotton lined. I think they're rubber gloves. Isabel's got a latex allergy. Well, Isabel's got a suspected latex allergy. These ones, PVC and flock lined, and those are $1.69. I think I'll get those instead. A pair of each. One for me, one for her. I never find any to fit her, but perhaps if we wrap some tape around the top, they'll stay on. She needs to learn how to wash up. It's getting ridiculous. Oh, I'm hungry now. I'm tempted to have that little bit of spaghetti that I've got left over that I cooked last night out of the odds and ends I had left in the house. There are Izzy's crumpets. I shall take them up to her in bed. I've chucked a tin of tomatoes and a tin of mushrooms in there to bulk it up a bit for my lunch. Now I know a lot of people don't like tinned mushrooms, but I kind of think of them as a vegetarian equivalent to cockles or something like that. I quite like them. I think of them as a different type of food to fresh mushrooms really, rather than being a poor equivalent. I don't know, each to their own. Basil! Actually I can put what I like in there today because Izzy's not having any of this. Normally, if Izzy's having the food, which she usually is, it really limits what I can spice it up with because she's just so sensitive to flaring up. Most spices will set her off, so I have to cook really bland food and then separate it out into 2 bowls and just put chilli flakes and things on the top of mine afterwards, retrospectively. Or sometimes I pull hers out of the pan first and then throw in lemon juice, soy sauce, sometimes Tabasco, sometimes dried chilli flakes, stir it all up, cook it for a bit longer. If there's been any wine in the house, that goes in. That's only happened once in about the last 3 years though, so yeah, anyway, it's nice then, and we both get to have a nice meal that we like. While I was out, I just popped into a travel agent, just briefly, explaining I didn't really have time to stop. But I just wanted to ask about whether we could book a really last-minute deal at the actual last minute, and maybe in March or April, because these are the 2 months that we've got earmarked for perhaps a week away, just in a hotel, all-inclusive, somewhere hot and sunny so we can all have a rest, because we're all tired in this family, especially IB. And especially all of us. That didn't make any sense, you know what I mean? Anyway, she was saying yes, but the later you book, the less choice you'll have. But she said, here's a top tip. You could go for half board rather than all-inclusive. She said people tend to go for self-catering or all-inclusive, but they don't tend to target as much the half board. So you still got your breakfast and your meal in the evening, but you don't get lunch and you don't get those, you know, unlimited snacks and drinks throughout the day. But I mean, how many of those do you actually consume? And there's kind of an advantage to half board in a way, because one of the disadvantages I find with all-inclusive is it makes you feel that you ought to stay closer to the hotel at all times to save on the cost of eating out. So it can kind of stop you going further afield in a way. And oftentimes when we are all-inclusive, we end up having lunch out anyway or making a packed lunch. So it could be quite a good idea actually. But I'm loathed to book anything just at the moment because I'm keeping an eye on the spread of the coronavirus. And I don't know how the travel advice is going to be over the next couple of weeks or months or year. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not in a great rush to book it at the moment, but we might get a holiday in or we might not. We'll see. The plan is to have it unless the coronavirus gets in the way, because we don't want to be risking spreading it, you know, just travelling unnecessarily. Izzy says, by the way, that she's up to being read to once she's had her breakfast, so I'll probably snuggle her up with me in my bed and we'll probably read through some of the English literature stuff that she needs to be familiar with. We've got Whale Song, hang on. Whale Rider, this is the DVD, it was just the quickest thing that came to hand, but we're actually reading the book first at the moment, so I could carry on reading that to her. I could read some of the science stuff that she's supposed to be learning this week that she's just not up to sitting down and doing herself. She did do some very cute notes the other day. I love them. Hang on. It's Izzy's calorimetry notes that she took. I just thought they were so cute. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to have my lunch now. It is now about 4:05 in the afternoon. We've had quite an uneventful afternoon with Izzy being bed-bound by the nausea. I'm just making her 2 more crumpets with Marmite because that's all she wants to eat today. All she's eaten all day are 2 crumpets with Marmite. I've been reading to her in bed. We've read science, and I was like thinking, how on earth am I going to read about core practical things to her in a bed? But I did. I thought on my feet I did, and I changed it into a story of young Frankenstein as a lad, but as in the one that made the monster, not the monster. Yeah, Victor Frankenstein, Isabel tells me. I made up a story about him working secretly in a shed laboratory and described all the apparatus that he used, and and said that he was using a cat biscuit because he had a cat, and she knew it was made up, but it was a funny way to make it, in the experiment, into a narrative that she actually engaged with. So that worked. The ill schooling today, the lengths you have to go to is ridiculous, but that really worked really well, and she was quite enjoying that one. That was okay. And I read some history to her and sort of took the chance to embellish it a lot and try and relate it to stuff that we have shared experience of to make it even more relatable. And then I've been reading The Whale Rider ever since, and it's kind of got more flowy now. We're both enjoying that a lot more than we were. We found that a bit heavy going at the beginning because it was just so hard to relate to any of it, but we're relating to it more now. So she's going to eat more crumpets. I'm just going to carry on with that because we're both quite enjoying it, and it's a good way to pass the time, and it's all part of the curriculum that she's got to study, so might as well crack on with that. I recently rang dermatology and left a message on an answer phone to update them about what's happened. I don't quite know where we're going to go from here. Things not working out very well with Izzy's skin at the moment. It's just gradually worsening. So I just don't know what to do. We're just going to have to slow our pace down at our homeschooling. We have to, till she's over this rough patch. I don't know how long that'll take. I think the rest of today is going to just be kind of nothingy. But so thank you very much for watching, and oh, there's the crumpets. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!